In this video, I want to show you how to set up an Inventor project and also how to create a puzzle piece. Here is Inventor. It's up. To create my Inventor project, I'm going to click on Projects. I don't see my project here, or if I want to create a new one, I click the New button. We'll always use Single User Project. Click Next. In the name field, always modify this first. So I'm going to call this Puzzle Cube with a space in the capital letters. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. So what you're going to do is select everything to the left of the backslash that's to the left of the word Inventor. So I'm going to illustrate it right here. See, I missed it. I missed the one. So I'm going to select all of that. So everything to the left of the backslash that is to the left of the word Inventor. That word Inventor represents a folder called Inventor, and you're just going to replace that with Z:. That's our virtual drive, and so everything is going to be in the Z: drive under the folder Inventor, and under that the folder Puzzle Cube, and then everything that you create will live in that location. So I'm going to say finish. The path doesn't created, the path being this path. Should it be created? Okay, and it was created. Done. Now you want to go to Windows File Explorer, which can be accessed by the folder icon down here at the bottom. Click Computer. Go to your Z drive. Z drive can be identified either by the Z at the end, or it will have your user login right here. So I double click here, and there will be some other stuff in here, but there will always be a folder called Inventor, and inside that you'll have all of your folders associated with your projects. And also these are shortcuts. IPJ stands for Inventor Project, but inside here you'll find the Puzzle Cube Inventor Project file. That has to be there, or you've done something wrong. So always check that to ensure that it's set up correctly. So with that in mind, for now, all that buys us is that when we hit the Save button up here, the system will automatically look at that location, or when I click the Open button, the system will automatically look at that location. So to make a puzzle cube, I just want to demonstrate one way that works for me. Go to the big I, click New. We're going to go with the standard part. That'll be in English units. Create. You can look down at the bottom. That'll show you that Inventor is doing things, even though everything else is blank. And finally it comes up and you can see the workspace here. Over here in the right is a very important region called the browser. That'll be very valuable when we're working on complex parts. Always the first thing we want to do in Inventor is make a two-dimensional sketch. So I'm going to click the 2D sketch button, and I get this set of planes that correspond to the front, right, and top. I'm going to draw the front face here, so I'm going to select this plane. And when I do that, you can see that I don't get the grid marks associated with graph paper. So I go to the big I, Options, go to the Sketch tab, and select Grid Lines, Apply, Close, and you can see I've got my grid lines. So at this point, since we're making a two-dimensional sketch, think of this as graph paper, which is a two-dimensional object, and we're going to be doing two-dimensional things right now. Only later, after we finish the sketch up here with the big green check mark, will we do three-dimensional maneuvers, so to speak. So I'm going to go to the line tool. This allows me to draw some straight lines. I click it. I come down here to the origin. It pops green, and I see the coincident constraint graphic to the lower right of the origin. I do a left click. I pull out. Now I'm going to have this 3 blocks long, or 3 blocks wide in the front. So 0.75 is the dimension of each block. So I'm going to have that's going to be 3 times 0.75 or 2.25, but I can also go 3 times 0.75, and as soon as it turns black, I'm okay. So it did the arithmetic for me. And it looks like Inventor is struggling to accomplish that. Okay, I don't know why it took that long. And I'm going to back out of that, do a Control Z, and start over. So click here. Let me just put in 2.25 just to get this video done. And I want to bring it down and have it be horizontal. Left click. I move up here. I want this to be 0.75, so this is going to be 1 cube high. I'm at 90 degrees, so left click. I'm going to come over here 2 cubes, 1.5, tab, tab, left click. I'm going to go up 1 cube, which is 0.75. I'm at 90 degrees, so I'm okay. Left click. I'm going to come back over here. Inventor kind of knows what I want to do, so it puts me in the right spot. Left click. Come back home to make a closed two-dimensional shape. It's got to be closed if I want to extrude it. So I left click, right click, OK. And there's my two-dimensional sketch. If I finish that sketch, it goes into an isometric shape. And to get it back on the screen, I can click the home icon near the view cube. And there I have it. Okay, I'm going to extrude. And I am going, sometimes you'll get this this window up here. It won't automatically expand like this. So you'll have to do what I just did there. So I'm going to actually go inward, and it's going to be 1 cube deep, which is 0.75. And OK. And now I've got a 4 cube puzzle piece that's a valid for what we're trying to do here. I'm going to make this slightly more complicated. I'm going to make it a 5 cube piece. In order to do that, I take the three-dimensional object that I just made and I create a 2D sketch on one of the faces. I'm going to choose the front face. So I'm going to click there. I go back into my graph paper mode. And now to make my life easier, I'm going to use the rectangle tool. And I'm going to come up here and I'm going to stick a cube right on the end here. So it's going to be 0.75 in each direction. So I can tab back and forth, make sure they're 0.75, and I think I'm okay. So left click, right click, OK. Now I've finished my two-dimensional sketch, so I finish the sketch, and you can see I have the sketch on this face. Now I hit extrude again, and I always want to go to the region that I want to extrude first before I mess with anything here. I click here, out it comes, and it's already 0.75 since that's what I used last. So Inventor was smart enough to know that, so I'm going to just take that and OK. So there's my 5 cube, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cube puzzle piece. We're going to be coloring these different colors when we put the cube together, the puzzle together. And well, fine, I'll take that color. So now I know exactly where this thing is going to go since I set up my Inventor project at the very beginning. If I just click save, it goes immediately to that location. So I'm going to call this one, let's say my name is John Smith, Smith John _ part 5, because it has 5 parts, and this is my first puzzle piece of 5 cubes. So last name, first name _ part, and then 5 for the number of cubes, and 1 for the index, so to speak, of which cube it is. This is the very first one I've made, so it's a 1. So I save it, and I'm good. Now, if I want to make another piece similar to this, what I can do is go to the big I, hover over Save As, and then do Save Copy As. And I can change the name to 2 and save that. So I've just saved a copy of this one, but this one is still up. If you Can't see that. There you can. This is still part number 1, so I don't want to modify this one. I just saved a copy of this guy and gave it the name -5-2. So I close this, and again I click open, and it immediately looks where I want it to. If I didn't have my project set up, clicking open would go to my documents or something. So now I click 5-2, and it's the exact same part as 5-1 because I haven't modified it yet. So what I want to do now is modify it in some way. How can I do this to be interesting? Let me show one thing. That second extrusion, remember I talked about the browser, very useful. If I hover over extrusion 2, that's that little extrusion that I made with this cube. I want to get rid of that. So I'm going to right click and delete, and it says, you had a sketch back there that defined this extrusion. Do you want to delete that sketch too? Just say OK. Boom, it's gone. Now I'm going to put that little cube in a different location. So I'm going to create a 2D sketch. I'm going to do it right here. And I'm going to use the rectangle tool, come over here. And I want each one of these to be 0.75. And it looks like they are, so I'm right on the edge there. Left click, right click, OK. Finish the sketch, and you can see that I have a cube there. This yellow, I wish wasn't there. Let's see if that's an artifact. So if I click here, yeah, it comes up. Okay. So I can have one that does that, or if I wanted, okay, I'd have to make this 0.75. So that's a legitimate piece. I can go back the other way. Oh, that doesn't do any good. That just removes what I had there. So I'm going to go with that one. So that is now part 5-2, the second 5-cube part. You're going to want to have this be a different color. So let's make it green. Again, I'm going to just save it. And it's already there. So if I go to my File Explorer, you can see I have my parts here. And they're identified as Inventor parts. They're the yellow cube. And then I've got my project file, which I set up earlier.